Artha Bhakta Kanta Krishna Namakarna Hridgatam. Is that the right verse? Or did I? Yeah. Lagna Sandi Shushtude. I'm on 59, yeah. Nachi Shesha Somya Vesha Shaitadra Saikatam Vina Sandi Dirga Deha Pelavati Daivatam Shanta Bhakta Chakratirtha Ishta Drishti Gocharam Premadama Devameva Naumi Goda Sundaram Artha Bhakta Kanta Krishna Namakarna Hridgatam Lagna Sandi Shushtu Deha Sarva Purva Samatam Ardha Bhaja Bhava Krishna Kelivarna Nathuram Premadama Devameva Naumi Goda Sundaram Naumi Goda Sundaram Premadama Devameva Naumi Goda Sundaram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Jai Gaur Premanande. And your son's name, Praveen?
Kushal.
Kushal. Very precious looking boy.
Yeah.
Kushal. Very nice. How old is he now?
How old you are?
How old are you?
3.
3 years old. He's about the same age as Subhadra.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Balaram is 2.
Mm-hmm. How do you like it here, Kushal?
Kushal, you like it? You like here?
How many languages do you speak?
Little bit Hindi and then English.
In English, okay. Okay. Oh, well, if you have any suggested topic, we can discuss that. Otherwise, we'll read something.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with this book?
yeah, I heard about this.
Okay.
Which one? Name?
Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam. Life nectar of the surrendered souls, or the nectar in the lives of the surrendered souls. So it is a treatise on Sharanagati, surrender. It was compiled by our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhardev Goswami Maharaj. Thank you, Didi.
Sharanagati was by Bhakti.
The song book. Yeah.
It's on top of that. No.
Yeah, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he made that song book, which has a series of songs which are illuminating each of the 6 limbs of surrender. Okay. And our Param Gurudev Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he actually wrote a commentary on that song book, which we have. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, he also himself composed his own treatise on Sharanagati, which he called Prapanna-jivanamrtam. And what it actually is, it's a collection of verses from the scriptures, which are illuminating the nature of surrender and highlighting the importance, the indispensable nature of surrender also for those who are on the path of devotion. So he has collected so many verses, both from the scriptures and from the writings of so many Vaishnava saints, including those who are not within the Gaudiya line, in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's has a very broad scope, So, for example, there's a number of verses by Kulashekar, you might have heard Kulashekar, also Jamuna Charja, 1 or 2 others. So there's no prejudice here, So from various scriptures and from the expressions of the saints, their expressions of Sharanagati, surrender, and then Srila Sridhar Maharaj has also written his own Sanskrit illumination before each verse, which is like distilling the essence of the verse. So it is a compilation of many verses of others, but also it is very much his own work. Mm-hmm. He has his own unique line, which is, as I said, distilling the essence of the verse. And also the first chapter is all of his own original Sanskrit verses, the introductory chapter. And also in the last chapter, there are some of his own unique verses as well. And the book was compiled completely in Sanskrit. The original edition was prepared fully in Sanskrit. It hasn't ever been published like that. That is a project that we have to complete one day, as our Gurudev desired. It was translated into Bengali and published in Bengali, and then later it was translated into English, and it's been published in this beautiful English edition. So it's an extremely valuable work. So these 6 limbs of surrender, anukulyasya sankalpa, to accept that which is favorable for the life of devotion, pratikulya vivarjana, to reject that which is unfavorable, anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulya vivarjana, rakshishya titi vishvaso, to hold confidence in the Lord's protection, rakshishya titi vishvaso, goptritve varanam tata, to accept the Lord as one's guardian. What are we supposed to do? I'm not sure if we're supposed to run out or something. Apparently we're supposed to do a drill once a week.
He is looking for me now.
We have to check all the books.
So Goptitre Varanam Tata, to accept the Lord as one's guardian, to embrace the Lord's guardianship. Avasya Rakshit, we already covered that. And Atmanikshepa, full self-surrender, and Karpanya, or Doinya as it's also given, humility. So I think those are the 6, right?
There was some incense in Ananda Prabhu's room.
Really? So sensitive, huh? Okay, so last night we started with the first chapter, Acceptance of the Favorable. And it's very, we can really study this chapter. It's so valuable because it's very, very precise and very systematic, you know. Param Guru Maharaj, he starts off with the main thing, the most favorable thing, Hari Kirtan, Krishna Kirtan. But it's interesting the way that he presents that. He expresses it in a very particular way. He says Hari Sankirtan is the most favorable, but the way that he phrases it, he says, of everything favorable, Hari Sankirtan, performed by souls surrendered and to the lotus feet of Lord Hari is paramount. So yes, Hari Sankirtan, it is the highest service, right? Nam Bhajam, that has the highest position, especially in Kali Yuga. But who can actually do that properly? And it is most favorable if you can actually do it, if you're actually at that standard. So performed by souls surrendered unto the lotus feet of Lord Hari is paramount. It's very interesting. And so then, for that reason, Vaishnav Seva is given so much importance, because Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, they've discussed this point in different places, and what they've said is, bringing all their comments together, the conclusion we draw is that Vaishnav Seva and Nam Seva, they are almost on the same level. But Nam Seva, Nam Bhajan has slightly higher position. But almost the same, Nam Bhajan has a slightly higher position. However, we're not able to do Nam Bhajan. We're not able to do that kind of seva in our current conditioned state. We are trying. We're we're trying to show our trying mood. But we're not able to render, direct seva to the name. And so then in our current position, Vaishnav seva, Guru seva, that takes a higher position. And then the following verses, then in the following verses, Param Guru Maharaj is selecting verses that are showing, how can we enter into the path of taking the name properly? How can we approach that holy name? How can we begin to approach that holy name? And so then the next verse is Trinada Pisunichena, right? These 4 jewels are accepted as the greatest treasure, favorable to the performance of Hari Kirtan. Humility.
Yeah, he was describing it as jewels, right? That's very nice.
Yes. One who knows himself more insignificant than a blade of grass, who is as forbearing as a tree, and who gives due honor to others without desiring it for himself, is qualified to sing the glories of Lord Hari constantly. And then the next verse, service to the Vaishnavas, Then the 6 favorable qualities that Srila Rupa Goswami outlined in Upanashamrita, and then going to finer and finer principles. So then Yukta, the principle of Yukta, Vairagya, properly adjusted renunciation, wherein everything is seen and utilized in relation to its connection with Krishna. And then these verses are very, very important. The fundamental objective is to maintain constant remembrance of Sri Hari in every time, place, and circumstance. And this verse we heard Gurudev quote a few times. He liked very much. Maybe it's in Bhagavatam, I don't know. It says, Vyasadeva, Alabdeva Vinashteva Bhaksha Charana Sadhane Aviklava Mitir Bhutva Harim Eva Diya Smaret. If persons engaged in the devotional service of Lord Hari are unable to obtain food and shelter despite their attempts, or if their acquisitions are lost or destroyed, they should, without anxiety, absorb their hearts deeply in the thought of Lord Hari. So very, very, very nice verse. The fundamental, in Param Guru Maharaj's illumination, the fundamental objective is to maintain constant remembrance of Sri Hari in every time, place, and circumstance. So it's very interesting, this point here, that, okay, we have some duty to maintain our physical, our physical nature. We have some basic duty to try to obtain food and shelter for ourselves, right? And for what? But for what purpose? Is that the end in and of itself? Just to have a comfortable life. Just to have good food and nice, comfortable shelter. That's not an end in and of itself. But the point of that is to facilitate, Hari Smriti, Hari Smaran, remembrance of the Lord. So then, if, despite your attempts to obtain these basic needs in this world to facilitate your spiritual practice, if, despite your attempts, you're not able to get that, then don't worry. Because that's not the point. The point is Hari Smaran. The point is to remember the Lord, not to have these, physical things. You can try, of course, we must try to get those things so we can be somewhat peaceful on the material side of things. But if we don't, then don't worry, Krishna's in control. If he's not supplying these things, then there must be some reason, you know. Then what do you do? Remember the Lord. Even more.
But sometimes these things are provided for us in the West, right? Food and shelter. I mean, if you don't have, you come to the temple or something. But more the difficulties are more in the mind, right? Isn't it the food and shelter that is provided in general for the devotees? No? Or have you seen devotees who have not?
Well, I mean, I think the main point here is that we all face some difficulty sometimes, of whatever nature it may be. You know? Difficulty, you know, dealing with various things.
That's what I mean, that it's more in the mental sphere for us. What are our difficulties instead of food and shelter?
Well, you could argue all difficulty is mental, because it depends on your own perception, right? Our experience of things is determined by our own processing of that, right?
Food and shelter, I think, should be taken care by the foreigners without any.
Should be taken care of by
laws, even if you are a devotee or not.
He is not obliged, though.
He's not obliged, but it's like from ant to elephant, everybody is getting food. So we can't say that everybody will get it. Means this is what it's like. It's not. He's not supposed to give, but he will give. I would say. I would think like that.
Oh, but you know, there are always some difficulties that we may face in different ways in our lives.
Yeah.
You know? Every persons may go through some financial difficulties sometimes.
Yeah, it's not created. It's not real.
Exactly. Exactly. Depends on your perception.
So, for example, in India, there was one businessman.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of them, not just one. They have big impact.
I think there are millions of them.
The government is supposed to get a lot of money and they don't want to give, so they run away and come to London. They have a lot of money but they don't want to give to government.
Uh-huh.
So it's like created problem. It's not a real problem. You know? He said so much that he don't want to give to his payback. You know?
That's like a type of cheating. That's a different category. That's a different category.
But financial difficulty, I think, is created by us.
Maybe you haven't had experience of financial difficulty.
No, I have been facing.
But some persons do face, anxiety about these things. But here we are being advised, we should have the faith that the Lord is in control, and the main goal of our life is to maintain remembrance of the Lord in all circumstances. And then the following verse is coming to the main point, This is famous Bhagavatam verse. Tat te nukampam susamikshamano bunjane vatma kritam vipakam hridvagva purbir vidadanamaste jiveta yo mukti pade sa dayabak. And Param Gumar's illumination, sarvatra tad anukampa darshana eva tat siddhi. This is accomplished only when one can see the grace of the Supreme Lord in every situation. So this is the key, and this is the main point here, that we will see with devotional vision. We will see how the Lord's grace is behind everything, even behind difficulty that we face. One who, in the hope of achieving your grace, goes on enduring the inauspicious fruit of his own karma and passes his days practicing devotion unto you in every thought, word, and deed, Such a person is heir to the land of freedom. He attains to the plane of positive immortality. So this is true devotional vision when one is facing difficulty. Number one, we will acknowledge full responsibility. We will not adopt a victim mentality. That we are, as Param Guru Maharaj says, we are victims of a chaotic environment. It is not like that. But whatever is happening, it is our own karma. It is our own responsibility. We have created it. That is the first point. But then deeper point is that the real devotee, not only will they accept and tolerate, but they will positively see how the Lord's mercy is behind that difficulty, how the Lord is coming to help us in one way or another.
I can't understand the second point. So we know our karma.
Yes.
But then why Lord?
Why what, sorry?
Then you says we can see there is a Lord's mercy in...
Yes. We will see that there's some spiritual lesson. So like, for example, say you lose some money.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, let's say you lose 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can say to yourself, okay, it's my karma.
Mm-hmm.
I accept it. But a deeper, and that's very good. That's level 1. That's very good. But then level 2, a higher vision is one will feel, I was becoming too attached to money. Krishna is so kind. He's showing me money is not so important. I should not put so much importance. I should not allow myself to become so detached. And I have to understand, I'm not in control. If I have anything, it's because the Lord has allowed me to have it. He can give and He can take. And besides, giving and taking on this material plane, it's nothing to do with the real need of my soul. So if I gain 1,000 pounds or lose 1,000 pounds, what of it actually? So actually the Lord is so kind that He allowed this to happen to me. He's allowing me to go deeper, to see things from a deeper perspective. Does that make sense? So then we will see it as actually mercy. It's not just that, okay, I created it, but on a deeper level I can see this is coming to, this isn't just like a reaction, but the Lord's affection is behind this. There's a conscious overseer behind everything.
But this is the perception of a devotee.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it need to be like that. Or he sees like this.
Well, there's devotees and there's aspiring devotees, right?
I'm saying in point of view from Lord,
Yeah.
what is reality? Is our karma.
Oh, well,
So,
he's saying from the point, what is the Lord's point of view? Is it happening just because of our karma? Well, that's a good point. And it will be, but see, first of all, we can say in an indirect way, first of all, there's different categories of souls, right? There's the average soul who's living disconnected from the Lord, and they're just going through their karma, right? Then there are other souls who are fully surrendered to the Lord, and they're living directly in the Lord's own care. And then there's the middle group who are trying to go from one side to the other. So, yes, those who are living an independent life separate from the Lord, what's happening to them is their own karma. However, those who are under the Lord's care, they don't go through karma. Everything that happens to them, it is directly the Lord's will and the Lord's arrangement. Even if it may appear to us to be something ordinary, like for example the Vaishnav, the real Vaishnavas, they may sometimes show themselves to be experiencing sickness. But we will understand they're not experiencing karma, they're not experiencing sickness in the way that we experience sickness. This is happening for some particular reason, to highlight some particular mood in the Vaishnava, or to provide service to the aspiring devotees, like that. No, so that's one point. But then another point, so like, then where does that leave persons like us? We're not on one side or the other. We're like in the middle. We're trying. So when things happen to us, we're not going to be so arrogant as to say, oh, this is the Lord's direct arrangement for me. That would be arrogant. We won't think like that. However, so we can think this is karma if something's happening. However, karma is also mercy. This is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gave this explanation in one place. Karma is an arrangement of the Lord. So that is also a type of mercy, coming to correct us, coming to rectify us. So that we can still see the connection of the Lord's mercy there. It may not be directly the Lord's arrangement.
And this is for us who is in transition.
You can say persons in transition, we will go through both sides. We will experience both sides. We don't know what is what, but in some cases things may come to us that are karma directly, and other things may come to us that are because we have connection with the true saint, with the Sadguru, then we may directly receive the Lord's grace in different ways. So both will be coming to us. Yeah, but we can always be sure, we don't need to sit and analyze it. And in a general way, we'll just see that everything that's coming, it's grace, and I have to adjust my own self to that. A very, very nice point you brought up.
And so this one is, even if we analyze for rest of our life, that point that we just Brahma from Namaskara is enough.
Yes, Srila Sridhar Maharaj actually said Srila Sridhar Maharaj has quoted this verse so many times, and he actually said, it is the highest regulation given in any scripture. Very, very important. If we, as you say, if we can remember that at every point, Srila Sridhar Maharaj says in one place, our dark days in this world are numbered.
But the main thing is that our ego is not in it. That our ego wants something out of the environment. We want some comfort, right?
We are getting used to, as we are living in this world, we are getting used to this comfort. We think it's a place we can't live without it.
Yeah.
So you said about financial difficulty. It's because of being attached to our comfort. And if anything less than that comfort, then we think, okay, it's a difficult.
Yes.
So it's more like created in mind rather than.
Yeah.
But as Vishakha said something very nice this morning. She said, the Lord knows better for us how we can attain our happiness, and that is to we keep some comfort, to keep mind and body and soul together, but not to overdo the things. That is the main thing. And to get a transcendental vision, to see everywhere is the Lord, is now, everywhere is His arrangement, even though in the difficult times, something to get me out of illusion. To have all the time my connection with the Lord, seeing that with those eyes. And we look at the boy or, work, everywhere is some grace, right, from the Lord.
Yeah.
So then this verse is concluding saying, that person who can adopt this mentality, jiveta yo mukti pade sa dayabat, they will very soon become free from this world. They will very soon become released. In the same way that if a prisoner, reforms his consciousness, when he's in prison, then many prisoners they go to jail, then they get released, but because their consciousness hasn't changed, then they go back again, right? But if a prisoner reforms himself, his consciousness changes, and he realizes and repents, oh, what have I done? And I deserve this punishment. In fact, I should have more punishment, for what I did. Then he's already free. Maybe he has a few days left in the prison, but he's already free internally because of this shift of consciousness. And when he's released, he'll be free forever.
But when you become free from that, when he's in the prison and he thinks whatever he done is wrong and he's ready to be released, but his fellow prisoner doesn't feel the same.
Yes.
They like companies. They don't like to
change.
They don't want to.
Well, the fellow prisoners are going to be stuck in the prison.
Yeah. But he'll be free. But the fellow prisoner doesn't like him to be free.
Yeah.
They like company, they don't want.
They like to enjoy you. They like to enjoy you.
Somebody as well.
It's all egoistic.
Yeah, egoistic.
It's selfish. So, but there's no taste there.
Yeah, the not taste.
From both sides. I mean, yeah.
And then so many beautiful verses. We read the importance of surrender, service to Sri Guru. This famous verse from Bhagavatam is also here. Tasmat Gurun Prapadyata Jigyasa Sriyukta. And this verse, service to the devotee, bestows the highest fruit. This is Kula Shekar. Maj janmana phalam idam madhu kaitabare matpartaniya madanugraha esha eva tvad britya paricharaka britya brityasya brityam itimam smara lokana. This will be the real fulfillment of my birth. This is my prayer to you, and this will be your real mercy upon me, that you will think of me, of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servants of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
This is evidence of true appreciation. If we truly appreciate the value of something, then we will be very happy to accept even a very remote connection with it. So, tvad britya paricharaka britya brityasya brityam itimam smara lokana. Any connection with you, my Lord, das anudas, dasatvam dehi me prabhu, servant of the servant of the servant. This is such a valuable, such a high thing, that to have such a position as the servant of the servant of a servant, that is a very high thing. That is a very, very noble thing.
And Prabhu always very nice then. Festival.
Yes, I see.
So many dishes and the kitchens, and Prabhu goes to the kitchen.
Yes.
And
he has that spirit.
Yeah, yes, that's humble.
You have the mood of doing seva, doing service.
I try to do something sometime. Sometime. I think it's good to pay back something. And the other day, then Maharaj was giving lecture about service this time. We should be doing about service. This is our only job.
It's our wealth. Service is our wealth.
Yeah.
It is our opportunity to do seva to the Vaishnava. And this verse is also very nice. Jnana valambaka ketchit karma valambaka vayam tu haridasanam padachana valambaka. Some people take shelter in the path of action, while others take shelter in the path of knowledge. But as far as we are concerned, we have chosen the sandals of the servants of Lord Hari as the only refuge. Some take shelter in the path of action, karma. Others take shelter in the path of knowledge, jnana. But as far as we are concerned, we have chosen the sandals of the servants of Lord Hari as the only refuge. This verse, Jamuna charges, so beautiful. Bhavantam evanu charan nirantara prashantani shesha manoratantara kadaham aikantika nitya kinkara praharshayashami sanata jivitam. When will I bloom in a life of servitude as your eternal devotee? My heart pacified due to all other desires being consumed by engagement in your uninterrupted service. When will I bloom in a life of servitude as your eternal devotee? My heart pacified due to all other desires being consumed by engagement in your uninterrupted service. Very, very beautiful verse our Gurudev liked. When we truly get a taste for that higher thing, which is our natural function anyway, then everything else will be quelled. Everything else will be subdued within us. I'll just read one verse, which we didn't get to yesterday. And this is a famous verse of Bilvamangal Thakur, Sri Bilvamangal Thakur, which is, this point that through bhakti, through devotion, bhakti is in the supreme position, and if one can render bhakti, they do not have to separately do anything else. To have this type of conviction, that is the definition of Shraddha. And this is the nature of the thing. Through bhakti, everything else will be attained. Everything will follow bhakti. So this point is being highlighted here in this beautiful verse. Nirupadika bhakti swarupopalabdhi. The realization of the nature of unconditional devotion. Bhaktis tvayi stiratara bhagavan yadi syat daivena nafalati divya kishora murti mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevate sman dharmarta kama gataya samaya pratiksha. O Supreme Lord, if our devotion for you were more steadfast, your adolescent form would naturally arise within our hearts. Then there would not be the slightest necessity to pray for the triple pursuits of religiosity, gain, and sensual desire, dharma, artha, kama, and their negation in the form of liberation, mukti. Because mukti will personally attend us, her hands cupped in prayer, like a maidservant, and the fruits of bhukti, transitory pleasure culminating in attainment of heaven, will eagerly await their orders from us. Mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevate sman. So Mukti Devi herself will personally come with folded hands. How can I serve you? And dharma, artha, kama, they will wait some distance. Srila Sridhar said, like if you have some calling bell, like in the old, it must still go on in very rich aristocratic families. They want to call some servant, they have a calling bell. So he said like that. If the devotee ever has any need for dharma, artha, kama in their service, then they can call them like with the calling bell. They will wait some distance away. Because all of these things, they want to serve bhakti. Bhakti is the queen, and they all want to attend Bhakti Devi. So if I had true devotion, this would be the result. If I had steady devotion to you, my Lord. Okay, well, I think we can stop there for today. You sing, Didi? Jai Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki jai. Shri Bhakti Aksha Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Vishakha Devidasi ki
Jai.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishnaya Radhavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohana. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Radha Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana. Jaha Hoike Vignana Sadisha Purana. Echai Gosai Jar Muita Dasa. Sansavada Pada Denu Moda Panchagrasa. Ajara Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanibhasa. Janame Janame Mohe Abhilasha. Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Kulobasa. Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kodila Prakasha. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Jaya Mana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Kodiyasha. Hari Nam Sankirtan Ko Hai Namrutama Dasa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Haribo, Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo.
Jaya Sabhai Sisi Guru Kurangaran Pirdai Juki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Bhakti Nirmala Chaya Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Bhatsila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Bhakti Rakshita Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Gaur Kishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Sachit Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Bhat Vaisnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sarvashara Sima Mahaprabhu Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Chand Purna Radha Purna Giri Govardhan Ki.
Jai.
Jai Tulasi Narayani Ki.
Jai.
Jai Ganga Yamuna Ji Ki.
Jai.
Jai Grantarachina Bhagavatam Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Narayanan Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Mayapuram Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Vrindavan Purushottam Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat West Lone Chapter Ki.
Jai.
Jai Samadhita Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki.
Jai.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Haribo.